This is Joy News Today, live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125, on X Spaces, Facebook, and on YouTube. My name is Sweetie Abochi. Details now. The Ghana Police Service is calling for the immediate release of a soldier alleged to have fatally shot a civilian in Nyinahin, located in the Shanti region. 3 others sustained critical injuries and are currently receiving medical attention. The incident reportedly occurred when soldiers passing through the town encountered a group of mourners dressed in military camouflage. A confrontation ensued after the soldiers demanded the mourners remove the attire. Now, police have launched an investigation into the matter and have formally requested that the Ghana Armed Forces release the soldier involved to assist with inquiries. We'll delve into the police statement shortly. But first, here's a detailed report on how the tragic events unfolded.
The identity of the deceased is given as Akwesilala, aka Kushivi, 37 years. The injured include Kofi Ejapon, 44, Alfred Kwate, 24, and Kofi Osu, aka Juve, 36. According to an eyewitness, Reverend Francis Nyameche, the officers confronted the youth for use of camouflage attire, resulting in a clash. The military allegedly shot into the crowd, resulting in the death and injuries recorded.
The military asked him to take off the camouflage. He obliged by taking off his shirt. They insisted he takes off the trousers too. The deceased told them he couldn't go naked in public. So it resulted in a scuffle. The military started shooting in the air after the youth pelted them with stones. This resulted in the killing of Kushivi and injury of others.
The community has since been thrown into a state of fear. The police have commenced investigations.
Now, what exactly is the police's account of events and what steps have been taken since the incident? Here are the key highlights from the Ghana Police Service's official statement, and that is on your screens right now. It says, preliminary reports indicate that on Thursday, the 24th of April 2025, at about 11 a.m., a group of youth from Nyinahin were on their way to the cemetery along the Kumasi-Bibiani Highway to bury a friend. While en route, a military truck carrying military personnel stopped after spotting one of the mourners dressed in military camouflage uniform. This is the beginning of everything that we are seeing right now. And eyewitnesses say the military personnel approached the mourner and attempted to forcibly remove the uniform. A confrontation ensued during which a soldier allegedly shot the mourner in the head, resulting in his death. The deceased has been identified as Akwesilala, also known as Kushivi. It goes on to say the incident escalated, and in an attempt to prevent retaliation, the military personnel reportedly fired gunshots, injuring 3 other mourners. And the regional commander has assured the community that a thorough investigation is underway and that those responsible will be brought to justice. The regional police command is also in contact with the Central Military Command to secure the release of the military personnel involved to assist with police investigations. Now, ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee, Reverend John Ntimfojo, is demanding more action to stop the increasing incident of military brutalities. He condemned the act of the military personnel and urged the police to investigate this matter to the full extent.
Of shooting a person in cold blood, blowing off their brain and instantly killing them on the base, that is not acceptable. Is one that must be condemned, is one that affronts the law, and for which the military should have exercised restraint. Well, yes, it is an offense for a civilian to wear a military uniform. But in such instances, arrest is made And when it is chanced upon by the military, you arrest the person and immediately hand them over to the police for them to apply the various processes of prosecution, and then the person faces the law. That is what is done in such instances. If the military is saying that wherever you find a civilian wearing a military uniform, you have to blow their head off. It's unfortunate. That is not what must be done. But I must say that right at the outset, following the event, I must commend the leadership of the Member of Parliament of the area, the Honourable Sakuto, MP for Achuma Mponia, for the leadership played in ensuring calm is restored. I must also applaud the diligent steps immediately taken by Ashanti Regional Police Commander DCOP Taikujo, who visited the town and met the various groups, visited the family of the deceased and the injured, and has commenced investigations into the matter. He has also extended an invitation to the commander of the military, the military command, and whose jurisdiction the incident occurred, to make available the soldiers who are suspected to have engaged in such acts to comply with investigations. And so far, I want to commend the regional police commander for the diligent steps taken.
Let's go to the grounds now, where Nana Boakye-Yiadom is standing by with details. Nana, thanks for joining us. So what more have you gathered so far in the day? Nana Boakye, if you can hear me, please unmute. What is the latest details we have as we speak right now? Well, we're trying to connect with my colleague Nana Boakye-Yiadom, who is standing by on ground at where this incident of retaliation is possibly. Well, I think I have Nana Boakye-Yiadom with me. Nana, if you can hear me, what is the latest update on this issue? It doesn't seem I have Nana Boakye-Yiadom with me, so let's move on to other stories, and in the course of the bulletin, we'll return to that story. Now, neurosurgeon at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and General Secretary of the Islamic Medical Association of Ghana, Dr. Hadi Mohammed Abdallah, is blaming the underutilization of internally generated funds by public health facilities on procurement breaches by the government and the Ministry of Health. Dr. Abdallah says hospital administrators are often sidelined in procurement decisions and are not allowed to independently purchase essential medical equipment, even when funds are readily available. He made these remarks on the Super Morning Show.
If we allow the CEOs the free hand to work, they can use the IGF generated to get some of these devices and equipment. But if we insist that they must go through the procurement law and the procurement must be made by our sweetheart, cook it for them, it is wrong. How can you say, for example, that a lift that costs about $65,000, a ministry would impose that on a hospital to buy it at $400,000? Why should this happen? These are the real issues when it comes to funding of hospitals in this country. There are machines that we buy that we could have bought maybe 3 or 4 of those machines. Just last year, Bishop Takia Boy, who I operated on some time ago, I mean, it's no longer an issue of confidentiality because he came out to even speak that I operated on him. I remember when he asked me, what do you want me to do? He wanted to buy me a phone. I said, oh, please. I mean, there are many things we need, so if you could help us. Eventually, he bought me the phone, but I said he would still get me what I wanted. I wanted patient monitors. So I started talking to few people. And then one guy who has become like a mafia within our procurement industry came to me, these machines, if you tell Bishop to buy it from me, I can put $2,000 each on it for you.
Hey,
yes.
I offer you money.
No, today I'm being frank because we are talking about healthcare. The guy came to see me This is the first time I'm openly talking about it. And I know this guy has won several contracts. That is why I'm speaking so forcefully today, this morning. Because a lot of contract in this country goes through that guy. He was ready to offer me $2,000.
Inflated price.
Yes, on each of the monitors. Something that a philanthropist was trying to get for us. And I told you, you are so wicked. It was over a dinner. And I left. I would really be happy if Joy FM, for example, can actually do a study on the cost of equipment that has been procured for our public hospitals over the years and compare it. I think it is a study that must be done. Where you have, for example, a CT scan machine, MRI machines, that will cost about $500,000 or $1 million. Government buying it for about $3 million.
Dr. Abdullah also weighed in on recent developments at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. He insists the health minister must publicly apologize to the dismissed CEO of the facility and his colleagues, describing the handling of their removal as unfair and damaging.
But before even this CEO who was sacked, there was also one called Dr. Kobila. It was party food soldiers who moved him out of his office in the same Tamale. A senior colleague of mine took over from him in Tamale. He is an indigene of that area. He couldn't survive. And this is a fine surgeon. After 1 or 2 years, he decided to resign. And that is how this CEO came there. So it is a problem that has lingered for more than a decade. And I think that we have to handle the issues not just purely on medical or administrative background of it, but we also have to look at the social aspect of it. How people are able to walk into a hospital to virtually, let me use the literal, remove a CEO from office.
Now, let me take you back to our earlier story on the killing of one civilian in Nyinahin in that clash between the military and the people there. Let us speak to the Member of Parliament for Echuma Mponua, Seth Osei Akoto. He is the Member of Parliament for that constituency where that tragic incident occurred. Seth, thank you for joining us on Joy News today. We understand you have moved swiftly to try and understand what exactly happened. What have you gathered so far?
As we have been informed, I'm just in the community, and I had my engagement with the district commander of police. He had given me a brief about what actually happened. As I'm talking to you, I am in the house of the bereaved family, the one that passed on last night. And from here, I will visit the other 3 that were injured. And then after visiting them, I've also been briefed that the chief of Nyinahin, together with regional police commander from Kumasi, district commander at Nyinahin, and myself, will have a press conference to address the community members and then assure them that the case will be handled and then pursue the case until justice is found.
Beyond the consultations, what more? What's the strategy? Because we've listened to security analysts say that there may be possible reprisal attacks. How do you intend to curb this before it escalates further?
That is why I've already indicated to you that you are going to have a press conference. And I use the press conference to address, especially the youth, those that were irritated yesterday by the incident. And I have also been briefed outside my visit that there are groups of people who are actually so not happy about what happened yesterday. So you get the opportunity to talk to all of them, and then at the end of the day, you will pursue the matter with logical conclusion.
Is there anything you can tell us about the state of or the mood of the people, the family of the bereaved?
Well, I mean, as you know, if somebody has passed on, definitely the mood is not too impressive. And especially when you met the guy who passed on he has 2 wives. And when you met the first wife, actually, it's not pleasant at all. The mood is not pleasant at all.
Well, thank you, and hopefully we can get more updates from that press conference.
Well, I hope to reach you maybe after 6 o'clock in the evening. Probably if you call me again, then I will be able to give you the details of our consultations and our visits and our press conference as well.
Seth Osei Akoto, thank you for joining us. He's Member of Parliament for Echuma Mponua, that constituency where the killing of one civilian happened in that military clash with the residents in the area. In other stories, an ACRA High Court has dismissed a motion filed by the Ghana Police Service seeking to block a planned protest against illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. The withdrawal of the motion followed a request by Assistant State Attorney David Bachem, acting on the instructions of the Attorney General. This ruling clears the path for the much-anticipated anti-Galamsey demonstration scheduled for April 28th. Now, here's one of the conveners, Oketechie Efrifa.
Yes, you know, actually, Nyinahin Kambumwa. Sebi Obi a dem ration and Sebi so ye post you, so ye president, so ye minister, so ye de ye man for no pay. Amobeye. It's all kind of constitution, the preamble. Was we, the people of Ghana, in the exercise of our natural and inalienable right, we give to ourselves and posterity. Etinye yenkwa, yeni nchirima kurano, yedi amemwo tumi eshe omonsa. Eti tumi ne yeye dia, enye omodia. Eno ne yeye jina yana so se police koji injunction, okoji ko semonso, oji die yo. Se no ma dwene so mudi bebrenu ayedia. Yeye lawyer for no, omo ya lawyer for munimde. Na vese do mosia to omu court ni ade abayi and the camera o meka bi ene de so meka bi ba na Ghana for we ni a symbol a kire se said ye na nanu mo ye na no ni kobna boni the third me adi nya fa ahudi o mo di akukuduro nyansa nimde epon ye age fa ahudi ma ye kwa me nkomo mbeka ho akoje sa akokosa mo sa na se mimi no mi enu aduru me ne oso dia esu ye bi eto aso na no ani asase no ene police na me kwan say young quiet demonstration. In fact, omuni to me grows on gas or musi point, court to pet and I was to me. Yaba yes was some court to know fast kind, what it team were chum or trying baby, or say assembly has been struck out in the police for Iwamokasa. Now, ye can't you be as a Juada 2 p.m. and young people some and young this is some, but TM MPP Nima Papa. The record shows that time of my buying I was so. Would you know Mudia dance here? Mene kwa mi apia kubiye ojina meche minua ye fajuo ato ye kon ekota no numere tano anua ekoko chesi ye che China for the buy. It tells you how patriotic we are when it comes to the fight against Galamsey. It's ye na kufodo penso na ye dia ye na jomama penso and the bibia sign and ye jomama ne time wo and ye ndisi ne time wo the moment we are fighting for a greater cause for the next generation. It's a Jordan 2 p.m. sharp. In
summary, Oketechie Efrifa is saying that he believes that motion was intended to scare them, but they will not cower. Now, our legal affairs correspondent Latif Idrisu joins me via Zoom with more details. Latif, it looks like the road is clear for that much anticipated demonstration on Monday. What are you gathering and what can you report right now?
Well, sweetie, exactly the case. So now the road is clear for the conveners and the number of people they expect to participate. They estimate some 10,000 demonstrators to converge at the Obrasport and go through the Ring Road and then eventually converge at the Liberation Square. And that was the bone of contention with the police administration. Because as far as the police is concerned, the Liberation Square, which is just close by the Jubilee House, both of these places are declared security zones. And so the concern on the part of the police was that the conveners of this particular protest should change the location of their final place of convergence other than the Liberation Square. That was the bone of contention. They couldn't find a common ground, and so the police headed to the court. And the ultimate plan was to halt the protest entirely. We do not know today what has changed and what informed the decision for the motion to be withdrawn by the Attorney General. But what we know is that is what has happened, and that the road is clear for the protest to continue.
And let's see, this is not the first time something like this is happening. In fact, on the same subject matter, you have engaged the conveners of the Generational Rights Protection Society. What do you gather in terms of their reaction to the dismissal of this motion?
Yeah, well, they're trying to play some gimmicks with it. So let's be clear on what happened. The case was not argued at in open court. In fact, when the case was called, Becham rose and said that they are withdrawing the motion they have filed. So it's not like there was argument and counter-argument in open court and the judge came to a conclusion. No, that wasn't what happened. The state in itself has maybe gone through some soul searching and concluded that let's give them the go-ahead to continue with the protest. You should also bear in mind that the administration has indicated its readiness and commitment to the fight against Galamsey. We've seen what the police administration is leading within the forest reserves, trying to flush out these illegal miners. So the impression was that the police administration was trying to hinder citizens from pouring out their frustration about the damages Galamsey is causing to the environment. I suspect is the reason why the state has changed the narration and the tone and the posturing and has withdrawn the case for the protest to come off on 28th. The interesting thing, Sweetie, is that the protest is going to happen for 2 days. So it's starting at 2 p.m. on the 28th, and then it's ending at 12 a.m. on 29th. It begs the question, who is going to be around for that long a period of time to take up and participate in this particular protest?
Let's see if Idrisu there. Thank you for bringing us those details. And in other stories, the Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, has tasked the National Teaching Council with developing a professional alternative to the current teacher licensure examination. This move aligns with the government's commitment to scrap the widely criticized assessment. President John Dramani Mahama, during his 2024 election campaign, pledged to abolish the licensure exams if elected. He argued that the entire concept behind the exams lacked proper planning and raised several concerns about its fairness and effectiveness. A special committee is now expected to propose a new framework for assessing teacher qualifications, one that focuses on academic training and practical fieldwork rather than a purely exam-based module. Here's more.
And for those of you in education, even more importantly, is your role at the foundational level and at all levels of the upbringing of learners. Yes, it's true, the NDC campaign on the manifesto promised we will end licensure exams. We did, and we will keep faith with the electorate. But I need professional advice on this matter. That is why I'm putting this committee together to advise most appropriately how to walk through the transition. The transition from a licensure exam regime to a no licensure exams. What would be the appropriate alternative? In our manifesto again, it was our pledge to incorporate it into the curricula of teacher training institutions, academic, that it becomes part of their curricula. Does that resolve the matter in a manner which defines you as professionals? I want the committee to advise me again on this matter. But with further advice, I want to say that one last opportunity of a receipt of the licensure exams for for those who couldn't make it the last time, must also be part of your recommendations. What do we do? Do we offer them an opportunity of a receipt?
In a related development, the Education Minister has expressed concern over the quality of graduates entering the workforce. Speaking at the inauguration of the new Ghana Tertiary Education Commission Board, Haruna Idrisu highlighted growing complaints from the private sector. He urged GTEC to take a more proactive role in strengthening quality assurance across tertiary institutions.
To focus primarily on the regulatory mandate of the Commission. In particular, as you are aware, higher education remains the exit point for many young people getting exposure into the world of work. There are complaints from the Ghanaian private sector about the quality of the Ghanaian graduate. There are. If you do an assessment and evaluation of interviews conducted both within the public and private sector of Ghana, you will come to find out some questions about what is the quality of this graduate. That is not to say that our universities are not producing the best quality. They are. But I'm sure there are instances that some don't live up to their calling and expectation. And we need you to also, as a commission, give special attention to Ghanaian private tertiary institutions. They have legitimate concerns, and like it or not, they are contributing to what I describe as the ACRA, access, relevance, and quality in the provision of higher education in Ghana.
A search authorized by the Ghana Education Service has revealed some students are keeping dangerous weapons and other unauthorized implements in school. It comes after the shooting of a student by another who brandished a locally manufactured pistol in class. Head of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, Reverend Father Stephen Owusu-Sechere, reveals the necessary punitive measures will be adopted to deter students from keeping such objects. Nanaya Ojima has more in this report.
A second-year student of the Adventist SHS, Susie Penaman, is unable to see in both eyes after being shot in class by a colleague. Doctors at the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital are recommending a surgical operation on the eye after confirming severe injuries. Susie has been narrating her ordeal to some members of CHAS and a section of SRC executives in senior high schools. It seems there were doubts about the pistol. I had my head on the table. Immediately I raised it. I was shot. Her ordeal has prompted the Ghana Education Service to order a comprehensive search on students in senior high schools. CHAS is overwhelmed by some objects retrieved from students in the schools. Reverend Father Owusu-Sechere explains.
Yes, when the letter came, in fact, schools have started searching. In fact, across the country, we found daggers, we found pinch bars, we found pliers, scissors, big scissors, big pinch bars, daggers, you know that Rambo dagger. We've been finding those things in their bags. And I think we have to thank the GS for giving us that authority to do that. Previously, you do it and somebody will come and tell you that you have encroached on the rights of on the privacy of the students. So schools were a bit hesitant in doing that. But when we did it, I think it's going to reduce students who are fond of bringing those items to school.
Presently, some students are appearing before disciplinary committees of their schools. The head of CHAS reveals they are committed to implementing the code of conduct to the letter.
Once we find any deadly weapon in your bag, we take you through the process, go to DC, disciplinary committee, and then they will bring out the sanctions, and then we will carry the sanctions out. So every school is going through the processes. Give the student the opportunity to also talk and defend himself or herself before you carry out the sanctions. So that one is school-based, and we are doing it.
Meanwhile, students in senior high schools within the Ashanti region have donated 100,000 cedis to help defray medical costs incurred in treatment of Susie Pinaman. James Echampon is president of the Ashanti region Student Representative Council.
Convincing people, but we know students are very vulnerable, and comparing the situation and how it happened when it's been placed on board, all students, most of the students get softened hearts, and they naturally contribute, and some did well, contributing around 100 cedis, 50 cedis, and not less than 5 cedis.
For Joy News, Nana Ojima reporting.
Let's take a break. When we return, Winston Taki serves you business.
It's now time for business here on JoyNews Today. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. The Accra Marriott Hotel, one of the leading 5-star hotels in Ghana, is promising to offer patrons outstanding hospitality services as it marks its 7th year of operations in Ghana. Speaking at a soiree to mark the 7th anniversary, Lucania Selza, general manager of the hotel, outlined plans by the hotel to make it Ghana's preferred hospitality facility while it expands to operations and contributes to the country's economy.
The hotel was barely months old when the COVID-19 pandemic struck. Faced with immense challenges, yet with courage and commitment, the hotel adapted and emerged as a beacon in Ghana's hospitality sector. Today, it stands as one of the leading destinations for many travelers and the preferred event location due to its outstanding hospitality. On the occasion of its 7th anniversary, Luciano Shelza, general manager of Accra Marriott Hotel, shares the hotel's intriguing journey.
Opening a new hotel is already a challenge, but opening during that time, it was an extra challenge. But despite all the challenges, we turned them into opportunities. It was a tough time, but because of the story of the company and also the support of the owning company, we went through a lot of challenges, and we are now celebrating the 7th year successfully. We have established ourselves one of the top hospitality company here in Ghana. So far so good, although the beginning was not really easy.
Accra Marriott Hotel promises to offer outstanding services while contributing to the country's economy.
Definitely, as Mr. Bill Marriott, our honorary chairman, says, success is never final. We never settle. We always look for opportunity to do more and more, especially when it comes to our guests and our service provided to them. Our guest promise is wonderful hospitality always, so we always find ways to improve our guest journey, but also we want to improve the journey of our associates, our people. And being a big company here in Ghana, we really want to take care of the young talents and the young promising people here in Ghana and developing them, being part of this big company which will give them a big career opportunity in the world.
Mr. Shelza called on government to implement measures to support hoteliers and increase tourist visits. This, he believes, will keep hotel rates competitive.
The rates are expensive because of the market. The more competitors come to the market, the rates will be definitely improving. It's all about supply and demand, right? So when they say we are expensive, we are not expensive. It's the market that makes the rate. Yesterday I went out with my family. I spent for a dinner almost $150, the same money that I spend when I go to Paris or Milan. So it's all because of what I just said. And the more we improve the accessibility to the country, the more accessible will be for people to come here.
The hotel aims to expand its footprint across the country, adding another facility by the end of 2025.
Of Birmingham is leading a groundbreaking research initiative to address the socio-economic and policy challenges facing women entrepreneurs in Ghana.
Assistant Professor of Responsible Business and Sustainability, Nyinahin Bonsu, says the project aims to redefine responsible business by focusing on climate resilience, sustainability, and financial inclusion within the SME sector.
In an effort to transform the small and medium enterprise sector in Ghana, the University of Birmingham, in collaboration with SME financing experts, is leading a transformative research seminar to tackle the socio-economic and policy challenges facing women entrepreneurs in Ghana. At an opening ceremony in Accra, Assistant Professor Nyinahin Bonsu highlighted the project's focus on sustainability, climate resilience, and financial inclusion, while SME financing expert Shalulili Baidu emphasized the importance of access to credit and markets to help women-led businesses scale and thrive.
So basically, this project is trying to kind of reimagine what responsible business could mean for women entrepreneurs in Ghana. Now, most of the times, when it comes to small, medium enterprises, within the space of sustainability, you could see that they lack kind of policies and initiatives to address kind of irresponsible business practices. We're also looking into how this.
That's all for business here on JoyNews Today. We have more business update for you at 1 p.m. on the marketplace. Stay tuned. After this break, there's more.